All right, all right, all right. All right. Okay, hey there, everybody. How y'all doing? Let's see. See what we got going on now. Get myself together. Just 1 second. Let's see. Go here. See if I can go. Just a second. How's everyone doing? Hope that all is well. Try to get on to my other page. Hold on just a second. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. All right. All right. So now I'm just trying to see if I can get into my other page. Let's see what happens here. So that I can see the comments. This is the only part that I'm not happy about is the being able so that I can see. I don't know how to get to. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, what happened? No. Oh, there it goes. Oh, you see if that happens. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's not working. It won't let me go. It won't let me see. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, I finally got it. Okay, there we go. Now I can just turn it down. Okay, hola Cosmos. Now I can see. Okay, fine. Finally. So I can get it together. Get it together. All right. Get it together. Let's see what we got going on now. All right, all right, all right. All right. All right. Hola, Cosmos. Hola, everybody that's in the room. Gratitude for you guys' presence. I am so divinely grateful to have everybody that's here. And let's see if I can now send the live to everybody. That's let's see, so that they'll know that I am live. Um, oops, it won't even. Let's try to do this again. This is tripping. Get it on out of the okay. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, yes, greatest beginnings. Indeed, indeed. All right. All right. So we're going to have another extensive live today. Okay. And as you guys can see the title, we're going to talk about the 144. This was actually brought to me by the beautiful. You just saw the notification. Okay, yay! This was actually brought to me by the beautiful T Love. She brought this question to me in my inbox a couple of days ago, and I never got a chance to answer the question because I was so busy, and I had so busy with my grandkids and different things of that nature. And I was just able to answer her DM either it was early this rising. And so of course I was apologetic for the late response. And I had something else planned to talk about today, to which I'm actually going to still incorporate it into the live or what have you. But I wanted to also answer her question because I think it's a good it's two questions, and I think it's a good question that she asked, because a lot of people have, so many different perspectives about it. And I wanted to give a higher octave. I wanted to give a higher octave of light. I wanted to give a higher tone, a higher octave of light, or a different higher perspective of light regarding so many different variations of this particular conversation, because I know that she and she's not here just yet, but I did send her the notification so that to let her know that I am live, because she's looking forward for me to give my perspective of how I understand her question. So I know that she's, in the midst of a different vibrational sense of understanding, and she wanted my perspective, my vibrational perspective of how I understand that same energetic anomaly. So as you can see, the title is 144,000 and the chosen ones, right? And like I said, the formulas that I've been giving you guys as for the past couple of days, once you hear certain things of the chosen one, and how the energy that comes along with how one gives that information, you're going to know energetically by the tone of how it's being presented. When you hear being say the chosen one, and you hear the tone, the frequency tone, or the frequency container of how it's being presented, you're going to know through energy hygiene where the frequency tone it reside in. So we got a lot that we're going to talk about today. And I went on ahead and gave an agenda, but the gist of what it is the 144,000, the chosen one. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, let me give you an idea of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the energy hygiene. Okay, that I'm definitely going to talk about. And, that's important because I think in order for us to understand, overstand that aspect, the energetic hygiene is very, very significant, right? And how to uh the signs of an unhygienic field, the cleansing of the field, how important hygiene, the hygienic field is. And that was what I was going to really talk about today, but I really wanted to talk about the 144,000, what that actually really means, and the archetype that it really is, what an archetype really is, what that actually means from a higher sense of understanding. You got a poem for everything. Yes, yes, that's how you express. And it is when you begin to become more deeper into the understanding of what this actually is, it is a beautiful thing to be. Okay, to be able to have a viability essence of consciousness, to write a poem, to do a live, to have this experience, um to have consciousness, and then you begin to appreciate the value of this essence of being, because it is a beautiful thing. Yes, even energy hygiene is major. Yeah, it's major when you become aware in terms of how you want to create your reality, in the essence to how you want to create your reality. So it just becomes in terms of the essence of the quality of the creation, right? Because really none of this exists. Okay, none of this exists. Okay, when you begin to understand that none of this is exists, you are the force behind how you make this a reality. Okay, you are the consciousness that makes this relative. Okay, none of this exists, and it's really, and it's for people that are still operating from a tangible sense of being. Um Hey, Mr. Overett on the YouTube side. Hi, my beautiful friend. Gratitude for your presence. I'm so divinely grateful. And Mr. Overett says 144,000 and the chosen one. Yes, that's the title. And T Love was the one that introduced it to me, and I decided to bring it forth. As a subject today to talk a little bit more in depth and to give yes, on both sides today, the YouTube side and that's Kazi Kaz, Mr. Over. Both sides today, and I got it working. I got it working. So I got the Instagram, the IG side, and I got the YouTube side. So hi, I got it working. So yeah, so we got it together. I'm getting there. We're getting there. Yes. Hey, golden sugar. Hey, it's a lot of work setting this up. I tell you the truth. It's a lot of work setting it up. It's way easier what I was doing before. But I want to be able to have this to, be presentable and different things and stuff like that. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to just be in this space. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be in this space. So hey, I'm grateful to be in this space, right? No dissonance. Yes, no dissonance. Supreme beautiful day, golden sugar. I'm grateful and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here, beautiful. I'm grateful. So we're going to get into it, and I hope that you guys, have your questions ready. Have whatever it takes for you guys to be in the space. Diamonds and pearls. Don't you start with me, cause I'm the female version of Cedric the Entertainer. So don't get me to go there. All right, don't get me to go there, cause I'm gonna go on vacation too in this hurricane. My husband, my husband's like, we not going, because I don't pay for this resort right over in Jamaica, and so we supposed to next week we supposed to be going to this resort, right? This Marriott resort in Jamaica, and so I'm like, the way that I'm moving, I'm like, okay, that ain't my hurricane. That hurricane ain't my problem, right? This is how I'm thinking, right? Diamonds and pearls, right? So yeah, I heard the cause. So I'm like, that ain't my problem. So my husband is like, oh, he all in the fear minded. So I'm like, that hurricane ain't my problem. I don't care if her name is Melissa. I don't care what she planning on doing to Jamaica. I'm going. I say the only way that I do not go is if another enough people get into that coherence and ground the plane or whatever the case may be. But I'm going. I'm like, I'm going. That's not my problem. So I'm like telling my husband, like, don't come to me with that. I don't want to hear your version. I don't want to hear your story. That's not my story. So with me now being in this space, I'm not absorbing whatever narrative that you have accepted as a truth. That's not my story. So I'm sharing this with you guys, right? I'm sharing this with you guys when you become in authorship of how to navigate your energy. You don't have, just because somebody has a different narrative of how they're visualizing a concept, a conceptual idea of of how they're relating to what is being propagated in an external value of an eighth dimensional, seventh dimensional, sixth dimensional crystallization. That's what you're in agreement with to crystallize to come into form. Well, I'm not in agreement with that reality, that story for it to come into form. So you go over there and let me go over here and focus on my authorship of what I want to come into form. I'm not going to agree with what you want. I'm not going to make that coherence stronger by giving it my energy to make that bandwidth just that much stronger to crystallize that reality, to give it the energy to create it and make it into form. That's how you have to look at it, because if you give more energy to crystallize it and make it into form, then thus it will become. But if you don't give it energy, it has nothing to anchor. So if I go and say, okay, if I don't really want that hurricane to come to that thing, it's going to dissolve. It's going to dissolve. It doesn't have no energy to anchor onto. The reason why the news keep constantly inundating it it's because they want that energy to anchor in that vicinity. They want that energy to anchor in that space. So if everybody keeps saying, "Oh, a hurricane coming," oh, y'all see, because you don't see yourself as energy in the third dimensional mind, in the discovery self. The external is writing the story, so they're taking your naivete, right? The naivete of yourself. They're giving you the story, saying that this whether that's why they can predict the story, because they're creating the story and they're saying that they're predicting it, and then they get the people to believe it, and then the people say, "Oh, okay, you're writing this story, I'm going to believe it, and I'm going to give the energy to the story." And depending on how many people invest energetically into the story, that story has the energy to anchor, thus formulating it for it to create, crystallize, and come into manifestation. But y'all ain't heard it from me. It has to have something to anchor in order for it to come into form. If beings decide and say, "No, we don't want no, we don't need," if beings know if they become in a knowing and be like, "That ain't my problem, and I'm the solution to that problem by not investing my energy into that narrative," and we more of us decide that we are not investing into that narrative, you're not giving the energy anything to anchor to. So that narrative doesn't have anything to hold on to, so it will dissolve because the energetic coherence is not there for it to anchor. The dissonance, the energetic coherence, the dissonance of the energetic coherence is not there for it to anchor. Okay, let me know if you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, because guess what we are? We are, let me see if you guys see me. We are quantum simplified, right? They got to put time on it, like Lucy said, to slow it down. Yes, because it moves through you. Yes, Mr. Over. Everything moves through you. They need you in order for anything to anchor. Everything moves through you, not outside of you. It moves through you. You are the determining factor on whether or not it actually materializes. It doesn't move outside of you, it moves through you. Yes. I love being in this space. Woo! Oh, oh, love being in this space. I love being in this space, y'all. Okay? Now, if y'all feel the need to go ahead and share this live, because we're about to get into it. And if guys have something that you guys want to, I know, if you guys got something that you want to get into, go ahead and share this live if you feel that this is about to get, real. We're about to get jiggy with it. Okay. All right. So the 144K. Okay. Now, the 144K, Jemai. No. Okay. My grandbaby's in here, you guys. All right. It's a beautiful space. Golden Sugar says it's a beautiful space to reside in. Yes, it is. Most definitely so. Okay. Definitely so. And I am so grateful to be in this space because one may say that there is no such thing as liberation because when you are moving from when you're moving from all knowing, there was nothing ever to be liberated from. And that's true. That is a true story. Because from the divine knowing of self, you were never truly in a situation to be freed from. Okay. When you go back to the true essence of the divine self. Okay. So I get that part. So you're only going back to that to which you have always been. It's just that the experience, you know, through you allow you to experience so much in uh the denser version of you. Is just that it just feels good to be back to that to which you always have been. That to which you never really left. Okay? You never really left. Somebody, I need you to be quiet. Just saying. Okay? Yes, you do get that layered effect of slowing down so much because you got to remember that when you are in your absolute self, you're nothing. Nothing exists. You have to create archetypes in order to see yourself. You're nothing. You're no thing. Okay? So when you slow yourself down so that you can make yourself visible, okay? That's when, like what Mr. Over says, it appears as if you become layered. That's where the dimensional selves come into it. That's where there's so many different names. You got the matrices. You got so many different names that comes into it. It's just the layers, the matrices. They got so many different names, so many different things, and that's why I'm so grateful for the experiences. I'm grateful for the experiences. Okay, when you get into the knowing. And when you understand that no matter how egregious the experiences are, you always come back to your absolute. You're always in your absolute. You never depart from your absolute, no matter how much the story tries to tell you that you have departed from your absolute. In truth, you never depart from your absolute. There's always a version of yourself that is always sustainable in its absolute. There's no way you can ever depart from your absolute. Okay. So when now that I'm in this space and of knowing and I'm holding this tone, and the thing about the being the multidimensional you, I'm holding tone in purity as well as operating in I'm operating in dissonance, because versions of me through my grandchildren, my daughter, my husband, I'm in this space in the purity of self, operating in pure tone, also operating in dissonance, also operating in my sovereign state. So I'm operating in all dimensional cells while in form. Okay. So a lot of beings can barely do that. Okay. They don't choose to operate in all dimensional cells while in form, but I'm choosing to operate in all dimensional cells while holding the pure tone of self. Jemaya, I need you to step out because you're doing too much. Okay, baby? I don't want all that feedback in the video. Okay? So, yeah, that's so cool that you can. Yes. It's not an easy task because you have to be able to um, not become absorbed so much, because your nervous system has to be able to manage those frequencies, and you have to be able to maintain uh your field of energy, because remember, if you're saying yes to a lot of frequency containers by what you allow in your energy field, okay, you're susceptible to those experiences that can commence in those vibrational containers. Okay. So you have to hold the tone, and now you I don't think it was the storm this time. I think it was my grandson. Oh boy. Okay. I don't, let me see. Let me know if you guys can still see me. See if I'm still. Okay. I don't know. Now I don't even think that it is Mr. Overett. See if you can see me on the, because I don't even think it's showing on the, oh boy. When I was in my car, I didn't have all these problems. Jemiah told him to do it. Yeah, she got mad because I kicked her out. She told him on the low. She must have texted him and say, let me, unplug my thing. I'm like, okay. Let me see if I can get on through here. Cause I'm like, what is going on? Because it says I'm live, but it says that it's not. It's not. So I don't know if it says I'm live. Okay. So it's just that this device. Okay, so let me do this, you guys. It does say I'm live. Okay, let me see. Well, I tell you, got to improvise. Let's see. Okay, I don't care about that. I just want to get to settings. Just want to get to hotspot. Allow others to join. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I just need to, because I don't think my internet is back up. I'm just trying to say, it says that it's back up, but it's not allowing me. Okay. Let me see. Is it still, it's not even saying that, because I'm trying to get back on where I can see you guys' comment, but it's not letting me see you guys live from my other. Okay, there we go. There we go. But it's still not letting me see you guys live. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I was just about to. Okay, there we go. It wasn't letting me see you guys live. Okay, so now it came back. Okay, there we go. Trial and error. I'm about to go and get me a AT&T tower and put in my backyard. I'm about to. I know, cuz. I'm about to get me a. I'm about to call AT&T and tell them to put me a tower in my yard or something. I don't know. All right, so it did that last night too. Yeah, it did it last night. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with my and it's Xfinity. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Because I have my what I do to keep calls from coming in, I put it on airplane mode because I don't want so that I could just go straight Wi-Fi, but it doesn't even look like I could keep it on airplane mode so that I don't get any calls to come in. So I put it on airplane mode. But I don't look it doesn't look like I could keep it on airplane mode because I'm getting interruption through Wi-Fi. Yeah, I did that last night and I don't know. I don't know. So now I got to keep it just so that I don't have any interruptions. I got to take it off of airplane mode so that I can, just in case I do lose Wi-Fi, my AT&T bandwidth will pick it up. I just don't want it. And I got it on do not disturb, but that don't all the time work. All right, so we're gonna get back into it. All right, so I was waiting to see if T Love came in. Um, I'm gonna try to see if I can send her the live one more time. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see if I can send her the live. Um, but if not, then I'm just gonna go ahead and then she'll just probably catch it on the replay. All right. All right. Okay. So let's see. All right. All right. So we're going to talk about the chosen ones, and we're going to talk about the 144,000. And I do understand that there is a lot of conceptual information about the chosen ones, and conceptual information about 144,000. And it's all truths based on the vibrational information, based on the vibrational resonance to which you are at. And but then there is pure tone. Okay, there is pure tone of origin. Okay. And at some point, when you get to a higher octave of light, the tone to which you understand the chosen one, and the tone to which you understand the 144,000, it will dissolve if it's not pure tone. Okay. If it's not pure tone, you will continue to question it. And so therefore that's why a lot of people still question the 144,000, and a lot of people still question the chosen one, because it may resonate where you are at the time, if you're still understanding oneself in a dissonant tone because you're in survival. And at the time that you were understanding the 144,000, or the time that you was understanding the chosen one, you were at that resonant tone to which that story may have resonated with you at that time, and you took it for a truth. But then when you begin to ascend in a higher octave of light, and that tone of the 144,000 and that tone of the chosen, it didn't no longer resonate, because now it's no longer vibrationally sound, and it has now become incoherent. Okay, so now you're questioning it again, and you're like, what is the 144,000? Because so now, where it used to resonate, it no longer resonate now, because now you have you have moved into a different octave of vibrational resonant light, and it's no longer coherent. So now you're questioning that same reality, because now it's no longer vibrationally coherent to the octave now, to the old uh uh to the old understanding that you once knew it to be. Okay. And so that's the reason why, as you begin to hear the 144,000, and no matter how scientific it may sound, if it sounds confusing and it doesn't make any sense to you, you're going to question it, because you're going to want to have clarity. Because if you are understanding it in chaos and confusion, then it's dissonance, because the dissonance is still that of what? It's still that of the lower bandwidth of understanding. That's why I say everything that I do here, you're going to have energetic hygiene to begin to understand how things are going to be presented. So if it doesn't have any clarity to you or what have you, it's not because you're not smart, or it's just not energetically coherent, or it may have an element of dissonance. Okay, and we're going to talk about energy hygiene. Okay, okay, we're going to talk about energy hygiene. All right, so 144,000, and many of people, they're looking at it as a individual count. There are many versions. There are many versions. People look at it as an individual head count, saying that it is an energetic stabilizer of Gaia, that it's all over the place, and they think that it's 144 people, and they're looking at it from a separational perspective. Then there are those that are looking at it from an hierarchical perspective, saying that it is that of a neuromelanated aspect of being from a hierarchical aspect of 144,000. Then you have your science head that goes into it a little bit more from a DNA perspective, and it's involving the 12 in the Bible. I forgot, is one of the apostle, 12 apostle, which if you break it down in allegory, it's that's all that's all sacred geometry. Okay, the 12 apostles and the 12 sacred thing, all of that is basically the six dimensional sacred geometry coming into the aspect of form. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, um but it is a divine template, right? um it's an archetype of source to remind itself of sacred coherences. So anytime you see anything that has zero at the end, that's source code. That's back to zero. That's sacred uh breath of source. Okay, a sacred breath of source. Okay, and the 144 is harmony. Harmonic code is back to harmony. So when a lot of times when um so it's a reminder of ending in zero. Zeros is source. Zeros is source. Okay, when and that was Mr. Overt. Mr. Overt says 1200 times 12. Yes, zeros is source. Anytime you see zeros, and this is just based off of my remembrance template, is zeros is source. So when you 144 is a harmonic where it reminds, is source reminding itself of an archetype of sacred coherence. Now, how that matriculates in frequency into form, we are we are sacred geometry. I don't know if you guys ever seen this video mapping of this multiple, it looks like snowflakes, right? And every snowflake that was overlapped multiple times, it created an image of a baby's face. So every snowflake that was kind of overlapped, and every time this snowflake was overlapped multiple times, this this snowflake, let me see, turn on reactions during a video call. This snowflake um created a baby's face. Multiple sacred geometry of snowflake flakes overlapping each other created a baby's face. Yes, if you guys go on to, you may be able to find it either on Instagram. You could probably do Google, or you could probably or just say sacred, just say cymatic prints multiplied into a baby's face. You can, any little thing probably will bring it up. And you'll see that the over printing of these particular sacred geometry patterns, or these prints, created a baby's face, right? Okay. So when you understand what these particular types of frequency codes or these frequency patterns or these frequencies are. You understand? Or just, yeah, you might be able to say, you might be able to say, just say overmapping of sacred geometry and see whatever. Overlapping of sacred geometry creates baby face and see what happens. You might be able to say that. And that it may come through. It may come through. It may come through. My husband don't have nothing on his phone. He don't even have Google. I typed in Google and Google ain't even, I typed in Google, Google ain't even come up. I'm like, who don't have Google? My husband is so boring. Who don't have Google, y'all? I typed in Google. Listen, look, Google didn't even come up. I typed in Google. I don't know if you guys can see it. I typed in Google. Google don't even come up. Who doesn't have Google? He doesn't. He doesn't even have Google, y'all. I know y'all can't see Google. He doesn't even have Google. I gotta down Google on this. I have to download Google on this phone. I thought the phone come with Google. Okay. So these coordinates, because everything at a higher sacred geometry, remember the stories are the creational value in your eighth, seventh, and sixth dimensional selves, right? But everything is a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Okay. So if you understand the 144,000, okay, you are a frequency container. So what that means is that when you obtain harmony, when you obtain the coordinates of harmony, when you become harmonic, and the essence of the being become harmonic and resonance of harmony, the harmonics, okay, that is when the 144 template will go back to 0 point, because it's three zeros at the end. Okay. So once that harmony, Mr. Ober said, I did sacred geometry and snowflake baby face. What came up, Mr. Over? I'm interested to see what came up. What came up? I'm interested to know what came up. Just snowflakes. Yeah, I'll find it. And if I find it, I'm gonna send it to the I'll send it to the broadcast channel. I'll send it to the Instagram broadcast channel, because I'll probably be able to find it. I'll come in alignment with it and be able to find it. Right. So as beings, the source reminds itself through archetypes, right? Which that is an archetype, the 144, that once it becomes in resonance, yes, the group page, yes, Mr. Over. Once it becomes in resonance of divine harmony of itself, it created an archetype to be able to see itself at 144,000. Now, in form, yes, we are that essence of housing that 144 sacred divine code within ourselves, right? But we have to become coherent. Now the thing is that when it becomes veiled in or cloaked in hierarchy, that's not harmony, that's dissonance. Okay. If it's moved, because in pure tone, in its purest of creation, it's pure. It's not dissonance to say that that black people is better than anybody else, because it's one sound, one band, one tone. You understand what I'm saying? It's an archetype to remind itself of itself, that once it resonates in complete harmony, then it will dissolve. That 144 essence will, that once it comes into that particular sound, that tone, everything that comes into that tone of 144, then it would, that resonant tone, that sacred geometry of that resonant tone, then the essence will surrender itself back unto itself into 0 point. But everyone looks at it in a whole nother different vibrational state, but it will not stick until it comes into pure tone. So one will continue to ask questions about 144,000, and one will continue to ask questions about the chosen until it comes unto pure tone, until you hear the pure tone of what it means in divine sacred truth, the pure tone of it. When you hear the pure tone, you will no longer ask a question about the 144,000, and you will no longer ask question about the chosen. Once you hear the pure tone of it, you will never question it again, because the source of itself will recognize itself of the purity of itself, and you will never question it again, because you are source, and source will see itself in you. So if you hold the tone of 144, so for an example, if what I'm saying to you is pure tone, and that pure tone becomes activated within the divine template of your DNA, you will never question the 144 ever again, because that would be the activation key that will dissolve that questioning ever again. You will never question it ever again, because now you have reached the tone, the pure tone of that 144 activation key. So any story that you hear that is whatever octave of light that is being told in, you will understand where it's at, and you won't have any dissolution of the dissonance, Mr. Overett. Yes. It will be the dissolution. You won't have no judgment of it. Well, I can put it in this way. I don't have a judgment either of what it is. There's no judgment, because I understand that I have the pure tone of source to know that when one reached the harmonics of pure tone, there is no more questioning. You just allow it to be. Yes. Yes, Mr. Over. Yes. You just allow it to be, because you have now the activation key where source has recognized itself through you. So it's no reason for it to question anything. You don't, because now the pure resonance to that to which it is in its pure state of self, its pure state of being, has already been absolute. It has already been achieved through you. So when the harmonics of the 144 essence of the harmonics has been achieved, then it goes back unto source of itself, and it dissolves. So when I recognize the pure tone, When you recognize the pure tone, and everybody recognizes the pure tone of source, activated within the DNA template. So when everybody ascends into the higher octave of the divine self, that to which truly is, right? Then the 144 tone will dissolve at 0 point because it would have been achieved. It would have seen itself and recognized itself, and it will dissolve. That's how I understand the 144,000. Now, yes, Golden, allow it to be. I'm grateful. Thank you, Golden Sugar. Now, that's how I overstand pure tone in 144,000. Pure flow. Um, no stagnant, no stagnation, no dissonance. Pure flow, pure energy. No anything. It recognizes itself as pure energy of itself, harmonized, pure harmony. That is 144. That 000 is source. What that translates is source recognizing itself in harmonic flow. 144 is harmony. Source 000. Translation, source recognize itself through you in harmony. Once everybody activate that aspect within themselves through divine harmony, and source sees itself through you in divine harmony, when the coherence is active, elevated at that coherence, and it sees itself enough in that energy, not through story, in energy, in energy, in energy. So whatever story you got, if that story is energetically coherent to activate that DNA template. Okay, if it's energetically coherent to activate that DNA template, if that story matched the frequency of that 144, and the divine is able to see itself harmonized in that story, whatever that story is, if it's energetically coherent to the frequency of the harmonized source, and that source can see itself in that energy, then that is when the 144 will be dissolved in you, because source saw him itself through you. So any other story that comes along, you're good. You'll never question another story. You'll never question it because you have resolved and dissolved the 144,000. The 000 is source. Now, the chosen. There's different versions of the chosen. Chosen, once again, is moved in the essence of hierarchy in the lower aspect of being. Okay. Once again, the chosen in pure energy and pure flow is source of itself, who decided to choose itself. And how it decided to choose itself, it slowed itself down enough to be seen. to choose itself so that it can experience itself. Divine choice. Now, when it chose it, yes, to come into form. Now, what happened, and that's the pure tone. Now, when it goes into hierarchy, that's the dissonance. Many beings understand chosen ones in dissonance through story. That's why I say by the time I'm done with the energy hygiene, you're gonna understand stories in pure tone, and you're gonna understand stories in dissonance. And resonance, you know, it may resonate, but does it resonate because you are operating in dissonance? Because it may resonate because you're operating in dissonance. Okay. It may resonate because you're operating in dissonance. Okay. Nevertheless, it's okay because you're still, if you're operating in dissonance and different things of that nature, you're still choosing to move from a mirrored version in discovery of self. Okay. Or you're operating from dissonance or distortion, even if you know yourself, because you moving from power and greed and you know self, but you choose to operate in distortion. That's a whole nother paradigm of source experiencing itself sovereign, but choose to operate their sovereignty in dissonance. Because that's a reality too, that you could be a sovereign being that chooses to operate in dissonance. But we haven't gotten that far yet into that that sense of understanding. Yes, Mr. Over Journey to Self. So the 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 144K tone is when source sees itself through you in harmony, and once it sees itself in you, it will dissolve you having to seek out what that actually means. You would never you it would dissolve that questioning. You won't question it again because it will dissolve. Knowing dissolve belief and the questioning of any reality. When you shift into the knowing, it dissolves any belief or questioning in any reality. Okay. So when you see the 144, and then you got 000, this is the code template. 9. What is 9? Remembrance. Right? When you complete, right? A lot of people try to break it down. You see, I'm quantum simplified. I'm quantum simplified. This is when source remembers self. Remember self through you. Source completion. And then the remembrance is not even the remembrance, it's actually no. Okay. Now, a lot of people got a whole analogy, a whole analogy about, let me see. A lot of people got a whole analogy. Okay. But I'm gonna write this one more again so that you guys can see it. All right. I'm gonna write it one more again so you guys can see it. How simple it is. Everybody got this whole analogy about it's the pillars. It's about things sitting in the ground and people. It's you, inner you, because you're already source. You're already source. But I'm just gonna give you guys a simple quantum simplified 144 source. And source. 8, 1, 9. No wait. Okay. You guys see it? Okay. Okay. It remembers itself through you. 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 It's all you. You are already source. Your source experiencing itself. Now I'm gonna bring you down. And like I said, once you this remembering, this is harmony. Because when you get back to this, right, knowing is harmonized. Okay. It is okay. Knowing is Okay, let me do it this way because I write big, y'all. I got to figure out how to. Okay. Okay. All right. Source of itself within you. Harmonizing frequency code right here. All right. Source of itself within you. Okay. Once again, it's the same as your 360U. Source code. Source code, experience. Same thing. Okay. Now, I gave you guys the simplified version. The third dimension is going to give you guys chaos and confusion, which is fine. But the only thing that does is just going to continue to keep you energetically trying to figure out the energetic coherence to the pure tone of source. All you're going to do is energetically try to find the pure tone of source. The magic is that you're going to try to get the source whole within. You're going to get to energetic coherence within because you're source. The thing about you and everybody is that this is you right here. This is the true you. The true you is this. That's the true you right here. That's the true you. That's the true you. Okay? This allows completions. Okay? Knowing. Okay? So when you understand it in its simple form, this is the true you, right? The true you is right? And that allows, this allows okay. Are you guys able to see that? Everything in between is your creation. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. By the time I'm done, y'all gonna get it. Okay? Now, 0 is also right. That turns into Mr. Over say, yes, we will. Right? Right? Because of this. Okay? So, because of this, right? So, the reason why 0 turns into everything is because of this. So, what is this then? Let me take this down. What is that, you might say? Oh, thank you, Mr. Overred. Everything about you. Everything, yes, is about you. Your story, your chaos, yes. Evolution. So, no, I'm going to do it again. Zero is nothing and everything. So, zero is no thing, right? Yet, it's everything. Yet, it's everything. Why? It goes from nothing to everything because of evolution. What is evolution? The dimensional cells. Okay? Okay. The dimensional cells. Okay? Not only the dimensional cells. I'm gonna go ahead and write all of this because I don't have much room. But higher octaves of light, cold, information. In in okay. Right. Yes. Your dimensional self, which is also evolution. Yes. That is what source. Okay. So source. So the chosen one. So the chosen one is source. chose itself to. Okay. All right. So in that regard, when you hold on just a second. Let's see what this is. I know I wrote something down that I wanted to share, but I don't think I yeah, I don't think I took it out. But yeah, so source chose itself. Okay. All right. It had to choose itself. So when you hear the dissonance of a being says that in the illusion of separation, right? So how you know it's the illusion of separation? Because it's the source. This is this is source that's dissonant. It's a source that knows. It's a source that's dissonance. So this is the part of source that is not yet harmonized. Okay. Are y'all able to see that? Right here. Okay. Now, this is how I understand my now moment, quantum simplified. Okay. Okay. Now, I know there has been a lot of theory that has gone into this whole analogy. Malachi York and the land and the writing on the wall through ancient Egypt and Thoth and Ra and the sun and I know all of that. And I don't discredit any of it. I don't discredit any of it. Okay. But as I've said, it's resonance. Resonance. It is either resonance or it's dissonance. Okay. And it may resonate depending on where you are at in your now moment. And when you shift into a higher octave of light, what may have resonated at that time may no longer resonate when you shift. But if you notice that in the higher octave of light, there is certain tones that still maintain its integrity. That's because that tone may have been introduced to you at 0 point, pure tone. That may have been a pure tone that activated a key. That story may have been. The thing about it is, this is what people don't understand, overstand. A storyline is just an experience, but if that story carries a pure tone that activates a crystal within you, that's all that matters. Because it's an activation key. The tone is an activation key. Because source is a symphony. Okay. Okay. So if that story activates, so my story, right? If it carries pure tone and I activated that 144 key tone in your template, nothing else is going to matter because I have just harmonized that aspect of you within your divine template. So their science, their whatever else that they tell you, their hierarchy, it's not going to resonate because I have brought you back to pure tone. I brought you back to zero. Source has recognized itself in your DNA template. It has saw itself in that ketone. The thing of it is, source don't see the story. It experiences it through vibrational resonances. It experiences the density. It experiences the vibrational resonance of the experience. That's why you cry. That's why you hurt. That's why you feel. It gets to feel the vibration resonance of that story. It gets to feel, it gets to taste the vibrational resonance of the food. It gets to, the vibration of the experience, the frequency of the experience. It still only gets to experience that to which it truly is. And that's energy. One might say, you mean to tell me it ain't touching this? Sorry to bust your little bubble. But it's still a beautiful thing. None of this, none of this is real, but it's true. It's true. Because energy is true energy. Mhm. That's why I'm out of the judgment zone. Beings have a right to be, right? I'm gonna show you something. Harmony. Beings have a right to be. There is a version of self that comes and reminds me all the time. There's a version of self that comes and reminds me all the time. Why you don't just go back to 0 point and end all this shit? Well, I'm like I like eating cake. There's an alter ego that comes on me all the time. I see her and she's like, why you don't just end all this shit and just go back to no thing instead of everything? And so me being in the vibrational state that I'm in, I'm like, I like everything. I like evolution, right? I like eating cake. I like having the ability to shift experiences vibrationally, even if I only can just experience it vibrationally. I love the ability of giving vibrational range now that I understand it from a knowing perspective. Can't tell you not to eat cake. Exactly. Right? Okay. It is a divine gift. It's a divine gift. So when you begin to understand the stories and what the stories represent at the vibrational calibration to that which it was calibrated in, I don't have no judgment against it, but you will continue to search for that source. Let me show you. Not this, but this. Because resonance, right? If you are third dimensional, okay, where you are experiencing dissonance, you may still resonate in dissonance, okay, because you are operating from survival frequency. So your resonance may be that of dissonance. So your evolutionary path, right? Well, let's do this. So let's do this. All right, yeah, you guys. I'm gonna take out quantum simplified. I'm gonna take off all this now. All right, because I need the space so you guys can see. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So these are the 3D versions of self. Okay. 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 All right. All right. You have the 3D higher octave of the third dimensional self that is somewhat awakening and aware. Right? Okay. And then you have the 3D discovery of self, right? They resonate in the mirroring of authenticity. Okay. Hey, Leather Flowers Design. Hey, beautiful. Okay. They have the 3D discovery of self that resonate in the mirror of authenticity, the true self. Okay. Of the truth of self. Okay. And then you have the 3D, the dissonant self of distortion, right? That resonate through the mirror version of self through mask, the mask of self. They are operating in the survival, they operate in the survival self. Okay, they operate in the survival self. Okay, the dissonance. Okay, so you're resonating vibrationally in dissonance. Okay, you're resonating, but you're resonating in dissonance. So yes, you may still resonate. You may still resonate with, if you're angry, to give you an example, with dissonance. If you're angry and you're in victim consciousness and you feel that you've been a victim of something and an experience, and they come and say, yes, we're the chosen, and we are the one that's been the most oppressed and everything, and this is why we're the chosen ones, then this 144 chosen ones is going to resonate in dissonance. Not in pure tone. Okay? It's not going to be harmonized. This is not going to be harmonized. Okay? Source is not going to see itself in this vibrational state because it's distorted. That's right, cause. That's right. That's right. I speak in pure tone over here. That's why I don't do stories, because I want you guys to be able to hear the tone of the story. Any story that come your way, by the time I'm done, you gonna know. Y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know the story. Y'all gonna know the tone of the story. That's why I don't do stories. I do energy, frequency, vibration. The 3, the 6, and the 9. What did Tesla say? You'll know the keys to the universe. With what? The 3, the 6, and the 9. Ain't that what he said? Ain't that what he said? He said you'll know the keys to the universe. And that's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. There's a source right here. Source ain't never left out of the equation. Source is right here. Hello, 868 Lay Low. Gratitude for your presence. Thank you for divinely tuning in. All right. Okay. And 868 Lay Low says key to us is the mode within. Yes, absolutely. Everything you need to know is divinely within, the source within. When you realize that when source can see itself through you, the purity in you through knowing, If your story holds the key to your divine template within, that's why I'm doing energy hygiene, so that you'll be able to activate your pure tone. Because without you knowing what story holds the key, frequency. My story can say twiddle-dee, twiddle-dum, blah, 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 till the morning come. And if that story got source code in it, where source can see itself in that story, and it got the code in it, then access granted. You're activated. Shine light, yeah, shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Don't get me started, cause you know I am Cedric, the entertainer. I was dropped on a diamond sing. I don't know if I can hold the key, but I'll do it anyway. Shine light, shine bright like a diamond. I do it anyway. I do it anyway. Okay? I do it anyway. All right? All right. So, but the thing is that when source can see itself through you, and he chose, okay, so when the chosen aspect of itself, when source is able to see itself through you, okay, it chose to come into this incarnation, or this aspect of being, or this experience, or form, or whatever it is, harmonize itself back unto itself, remember itself through its code itself, see itself through you. Source code, pure love. One may say, it ain't love. And I'm going to tell you this. Whether if it's not love, whether if it's not, whatever it is not, whatever it is not, and whatever it is of knowing of itself. And whatever that knowing is, it is within you. And once it's activated, whatever it is not, and whatever it is, you'll know. One thing that it is that it is knowing. Now that, goddamn it, y'all can't say shit on. So if it ain't love, and if it ain't this, if it ain't that, it's knowing. And whatever that knowing is, and whatever that knowing is not, it's coded in your monkey ass. How about that? It's in you. And when it's activated, you'll goddamn it know. How about them apples? And I don't care if you're white, black, Chinese, you could be a bug, you could be a butterfly, you could be whatever it is. Whatever. Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, picklese, legalese, whatever is. It doesn't matter. Neuromelanin, phenomelanin, plural melanin. Gay, trans, bi, hetero. All of that is experiences. It don't matter. The knowing will always be. All these leaves. Yeah, all these leaves. All these leaves, okay? Miss over say all these Hercules, okay? Miss over say Hercules, okay? Even Hercules, all right? All these leaves, okay? So it don't matter because source is source. Source is the absolute. My altar, my God's left. My altar comes and say to me all the time, why don't you just zero this thing on out? My altar comes to me all the time. It's like, well, I said, I love the experience. I done got to the point where I understand the hierarchy and why the hierarchy operates in dissonance. Because source experience itself in dissonance. But then I also understand that too much damn dissonance. It's it's time to make a change. Oh, I love that. Time to make a change. It's time to make a change. It's time to make a change. Right? So for those who are ready to ascend into that vibrational essence, this is why I'm here. Your descending self coded this version of pure tone so that you can hear source of self within self. Source did this for itself. Okay? So the chosen is source. Everything is source. Pure tone is source. Evolution once again, no thing is source. Okay? That's pure tone. This is source code. Okay? The harmonics is the 144. The experience. The energy containers. Okay? Right? That is the everything. All right, so the everything now is how light projects itself. So when you get into the part where, oh, evolution, how do I want to play? When the ninth dimensional self said, okay, here I am, the all knowing, and I want to play. I want to play. So now I'm going to pull source codes out of nothing and turn them into something. Ninth dimensional self say, hey, oh, hey, oh, hip, hip, I can be anything I wanna be. I can do anything I wanna do. I be anything I wanna be. I do anything I wanna do. And I already know, ain't nothing gonna change at this level. Okay? Ain't nothing gonna change. I could be anything I wanna be and do anything I wanna do. So I know at the ninth degree, in the evolution aspect of being, I can do anything I wanna do, be anything I wanna be, do anything or whatever do. But Source said, all right, ninth, I gotta see myself. Somewhere harmonics gotta come back. That gotta be in the template. Right there. So that is in your template. Source say, I mean that. See, right here, he said, okay, in your little world, I just, I got to be in there right here. But Source said, right here, I mean that. No, he said, Source said, I mean that. I got to see myself. Okay? One play. Okay? Told the nine, you can have all the fun you want to have in your little evolution. Source told itself that I can have all the fun that I want to have, but in this, I got to harmonize and see myself. And I mean that. I got to see myself harmonized. Okay? It meant that. It wasn't playing. Guys laughing at me. It wasn't playing. It was dead ass. It was dead ass serious. It meant that. It put three. It put three zeros. So I said, I mean that. So I said, I mean that. I mean that. It put three zeros. Body, mind, and soul. It said body, mind, and soul. Oh, that shit got to come back to source. Mind, body, and spirit. I mean that. Body, mind, and spirit had to come back, harmonize. Okay, under source. Body, mind, and spirit. That means the 3, the 6, and the damn 9 had to come back, harmonize. Okay, everything. The 3 zeros, it had to come back, harmonize. Source was playing to with itself. It said, all right, we gonna do this evolutionary thing. But at 144, 9, 9, 9, 9, I put you, I made you the Alpha and Omega. You the beginning and the end. I let you do all that tough talk. And you right up there, and you got up there in Genesis. And you was trying to be all a little gangster and everything. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. You was all talking everything. I let you have a show. I let you go ahead and act it all out and did your little Mozart and your Juliet and everything. I let you have front stage. But at 144, Nine, mind, body, and spirit. Source say all three got to come back harmonized. And he meant that. Wasn't playing. All got to come back under source. Harmonize. Harmonize. Nine. Got to come back under source. Ain't playing. He told source. He told he told evolution, right? Source said to evolution, I'll give you a little, reset. If they don't want to come back, if they don't want to come back, I'll give you a little reset. But but on the real deal, Holyfield, yeah. All right, y'all know I'm quantum simplified. I heard somebody say they got 17,000 oversouls, and that may be true. I ain't knocking it. I ain't knocking nothing nobody say. I ain't knocking nothing nobody say. I ain't knocking nothing nobody say. Source is vast, but it has resonance. It has an energy container that allows for it to be created for the vibrational resonance and the experience associated with it for those who want to experience that vibrational state of being. So it's going to make sense to those who want to experience that experience. But when Source is ready to see itself, that story has to be at 0 point. So you see Source wasn't playing. Source said, when I want to see harmony, I have to see mind, body, and soul harmonize. So when it see you, the reason why I can give this lecture, because I am sound, mind, body, and soul. If you're not sound, mind, body, and soul, it will not be simplified. It will be given in chaos and confusion. Don't it be started something? Got to start something. Don't it be started something? Got to be started something. To hide to get over, yeah, yeah. To learn to get over, yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the middle, yeah, yeah. And the pain is under, yeah, yeah. To hide to get over, yeah, yeah. To learn to get under, yeah. You're stuck in the middle, yeah, yeah. And the pain, yeah. So I say that 144, mind, body, and soul. I have to see myself harmonize. There you go, Kasi. Mama say, Mama saw, Mama kusa. Mama say, Mama saw, Mama kusa. Mama say, Mama say, Mama saw, Mama kusa. Yeah, mind, body, and soul harmonize. I have to see myself in that vessel, in form, mind, body, and soul. Them zeros. I ain't doing up no sign now. I don't want nobody talking about I'm throwing up some damn Illuminati sign or some shit like that. Cause I's not. That ain't what I'm doing. Before y'all go out there with that narrative, let me make it perfectly clear. Okay? So, the purity. Source has to see itself. Frequency. So vibrationally, through the resonance within me and many other souls, it can see itself. Source can see itself through me because I'm holding the tone, mind, body, and spirit. That's my version of 144. Completion, 9. I know they're going to say it mean a whole lot of other stuff, but I'm quantum simplified. Okay. All right. All right. And the chosen is source choosing himself. Itself. Just like you choosing yourself. Source chose itself to experience itself. And the same thing is what you're doing. You're choosing yourself. When you choose self, that's when you free yourself. Free your mind and the rest will follow. When you choose self, that's when the true freedom actually commences. Okay, vegetable. All right? Yeah. Okay. Source chose self. And when Source decided to choose self, Source was able to have the experiences that Source wanted to have. And in the essence of Source choosing itself, it was able to expand itself in its desired essence of how it wants to experience. So that still falls suit into you as well as divine aspects, because through you, because of its choosing itself, through you, it gets to expand itself as well. So when you choose self, you too get to expand. So through you, source is expanding. But if you choose self, you too get to expand as well. So it's a spiral. It's a domino effect. So if we follow the model of source and stay coherent energetically, we will probably have a very expandable experience if we move through knowing. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, you guys. I'm so excited about this darn whiteboard. I gotta get me a bigger whiteboard. I gotta get a teacher whiteboard. My whiteboard too small. I gotta move the camera and everything. I need one of them big old gigantic whiteboard. And I gotta get me a panoramic camera. I need a I gotta hook this. I do got a pod that moves when I move, but I don't have it hooked up yet. I need a studio, y'all. Yeah, I'm putting that out there. I need a whole production team. Yeah, I'm putting that out there too. I need production. Yeah, I need production team because I move too much and I like to dance and stuff. Notice that when I done got stood and stand up on my feet and everything, I used to be sitting down in the car and everything, but I used to be dancing in the car. I used to. Okay. Yeah. Time is now, cars. Cars saying do time. The time is now. Time is now. I write too big. Look how big I write. I didn't realize I wrote that big. All right, so now we're finna get into some energetic hygiene. Okay. Okay. All right. So the 144 is an archetype. And an archetype is a divine frequency wearing a story so that consciousness can see itself. Okay, that's basically what an archetype is. And 144 was just something that the divine placed in our DNA template so that it can see itself and remember itself. And that's pretty much what it is, right? So it when it see itself harmonized. So now that as source, I see myself harmonized. That's pretty much what it is. Leather Flowers Design, you so funny. It helps a lot. Divinity is powerful. Gracias. I'm grateful. Thank you, beautiful. I just tried. I'm just myself. I'm just myself. I'm grateful though. I love being in this space. This is my natural habitat. I love really truly being in this space. So I'm just grateful to be in this space, and it takes 1,000 pounds off of you when you're in your natural state. So I love being in this space. But thank you, beautiful. I'm grateful. Thank you. Um, Mr. Overy says I made plans for my mom and my aunt to be a. Oh, look at you! I just came up with this. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Overy. Just be. And now that you going on TikTok and Kai's going on TikTok, you know we the three amigos. So that means, ugh. Oh God, because Trinity just offered, gave me an open invitation. Oh, oh my God. OMG. OMG. I don't know. I don't know. TikTok be. I don't know. But I'm gonna see, because my babies love TikTok. I had to take off TikTok off my baby's phone, but they love TikTok. All right, so we are going to now get into energetic hygiene. Energetic hygiene. Let's see what we're gonna do. Let's see. All right. So now that we done got the 144K out of the way. All right, let's see if I can spell. 'Cause y'all know I don't know how to spell hygiene. I don't know how to spell hygiene. Where that paper at? Uh, these ones. I had to, so I said I do not know how to spell hygiene. I knew I had to write that down. All right, and then we get some sip of water. Okay. Yes. Okay. So now we got energetic hygiene. And what did I do with mine? Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see. We got let's see what I want to do. Um, 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 let's see. Oh, thank you, Mr. Overett. Let me see. What else? Uh, y'all think I got everything? Um, let's see. Hmm. Um, hmm, okay. All right, that's pretty much what I can think of. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, what what is synonymous with everything that's on this board is, I don't know if I let's see. Okay. The synonymous thing that's on everything that is on this board is okay. Okay. All right. Um, okay. All right. Okay. So everything, the first thing one needs to understand don't know if you guys can see me. Okay. The first thing that everybody needs to understand, let me see if I can I don't think I can get everything, but I'll let you guys see it. I'll turn it. The first thing that everybody needs to understand that everything that's on this board is energy. Okay? Everything is energy. Okay? All right. All right. So your home, make sure you guys can see me. All right. Let me see. All right. Your home, your work, your family, uh, people, places, health, physical hygiene, social media, spirituality, food, your thoughts, and your wealth. All of that is energy. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this really, really simple. Okay. Because guess what? I'm quantum simplified. Okay. All right. So, you are either operating, right? Either from resonance or, oh, this ain't it. Resonance uh-uh, or dissonance. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, once again, dissonance is survival. Resonance is alignment. Survival. Okay, let's do it again. Dissonance is, let me do it again. Dissonance is misalignment. Misalignment is survival. Resonance is alignment. Resonance is alignment. Yeah. Uh-uh. Alignment is coherence. Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay, let's see what we got going on here now. Just want to make sure. All right. So it's one or two things. Okay. Your home life, your work life, your family, people, places, health, physical hygiene, social media, spirituality, food, thoughts, wealth. It's either that you're operating in resonance, alignment, you're energetically coherent. Okay. Your home life, work, family, people, places, health, physical hygiene, social media, spirituality, food, thoughts, wealth. If you're operating in dissonance, if it's misaligned, then you're operating in survival. Okay. Now, which one you guys think we could pick a category? Okay. We could pick a category. What does a resident house look like? What does a resident house look like? What does a house family resident house look like? What do you guys want to pick to give an example of a home life? I could pick one and give you contrast, give you the contrast between the two. But everybody resonances and misalignments and different things are different. But I could give you an example for myself, right? Um, Let me see. Okay. So I'm gonna take I'm gonna take family. You guys want me to do family, or do you guys want me to do money? What do you guys want me to do to show you contrast? Because I'm gonna let you guys choose which one you want me to do. Because it's either. It's either going to be resonance, alignment, and it's going to be inherent, because that creates good energetic hygiene. And pretty much, if you have resonance, alignment, and coherence, this pretty much puts you in your fifth dimensional state of being. The dissonance of these particular types of things, I'm not naming everything, but this pretty much gives you a lot. This keeps you in your third dimensional essence. Okay, cause says family. Okay, everybody in agreement with just family? I'll do family. Okay. Now I gotta make room. Okay, I can do it over here. Okay. Okay, so okay. All right. All right. So okay, let me see. See, I write big. Okay. So um okay. All right. So if your mom is still in belief, okay, right? And moving from discovery and dissonance and you are in remembrance, moving from authenticity, right? This is not energetically coherent. Now, okay, it's not energetically coherent. So now, if you guys are sharing fields, right? So let's say you guys live together. Y'all pick the same, okay? So let's say you live together, okay? Let's say you share same household. So now this dynamic shares same household. Shares same household. Okay. Now it comes down to who has the stronger field of energy without becoming absorbed. Okay. Okay. So does your field have the stronger energy without you becoming absorbed of her field of dissonance? Okay. Okay. So to make it easier for you, mom broadcast station. Let me see. Y'all on two different broadcast stations. So mom's broadcast station is 99 jams. Let's say 99.99 jams. Okay. Your broadcast station is Hot 105. It's Hot 101.5. Okay. And so in the field, you got static in between. You got static in between 99.1 and 101.5. So that's the dissonance of the incoherency. Okay? This is the dissonance. So now you gotta hold the tone of that dissonance without becoming absorbed in her station. Because you guys are sharing the field of energy. Okay? So this is where energetic hygiene comes in to play, because remember, you're still in remembrance without really fully knowing So you still may be it, you still may still have some discovery uh nuances in that field of energy that may sometime you may pick up in the midst of sharing that field with her. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you may, have that cross interference. Okay. So that's in a family dynamic where if you ain't wanting to say, okay, I'm going for a loaf of bread because I don't want to share your story. Because remember now, the story of belief is one that the story of belief is said, I don't know myself, so I'm just going to believe what you say. I'm going to believe that your story is true because I don't know. I'm not choosing to know the story. I'm choosing to discover the story. And I'm choosing to believe your story until I discover my own story or until I discover the story to be true. And so therefore, I'm believing the story to be true until I discover my own story or what have you. So it's still an essence of discovery. Okay. Mr. Over says family. Okay. Right? Now, knowing, I'm gonna take the remembrance out so that people can understand knowing. Okay. Same household. Okay. Knowing is broadcasting from higher octave of light. Okay. So knowing is this. Okay. You draw the line. If you're sharing a field, you have drawn the line. In order for them to come over into your field of energy, they have to shift into a resonance that is suitable for them to enter your field of energy. So the shared field is that, yeah, you operating from 99 jam, but you're gonna have to tune your frequency to that where you can hear my music playing. So if you don't like country music, you're gonna have to hear a little country today. So if I'm tuned into country, or if I'm tuned into what's that bilateral frequency tones, or whatever the case may be, and you don't like bilateral frequency tones, well, in order to come into my field, you're gonna have to tune into some bilateral frequency tones today in order to be able to access my field of energy. When you're operating from knowing, that's energetic hygiene. When you are operating from knowing, but when you're operating from remembrance, it's like you're still kind of, you know, what was the word that I used? It was something that I used to say about my nervous system. I can't remember what I used to say. I used to say something, but I can't remember what I used to say. But you're still kind of like seesawing a little bit because you still might got some little bit some of the triggers and different things of that nature. But when you get into that knowing, you drawing the boundaries, and the mom is gonna have to turn tune. They're gonna have to come into some level of energetic coherence. They're gonna have to either tone it down, or whatever the case may be, in order to come into your field energy. Otherwise, you're not going to deal with it. It's going to be a quiet household. It's going to be a quiet household. They're going to have to come correct. Otherwise, you're not gonna deal with it, because it's a lot. It's a lot to have to carry that density, and you're not gonna want to have to deal with all of that. So this is how you energetically clean the dynamic once you get into the knowing. So that's why I say, like with Elon Musk, he has gotten to a place where he just don't allow certain beings that are operating from belief or even remembrance, if they are not attuned to a certain calibration of frequency, especially where his and this is all alleged, because I don't know the man, I just know energy. So everything is alleged. I've never personally met him to know him like that, but I read energies. But everything is heavily alleged for this dimensional self. Um, but as far as just reading energy, he's on some real energy hygiene, because if he's going to operate in, at minimum, to be able to be aligned with those who are innovative in accessing higher octave of light codes in technological advancement, if he has to be coherent, energetically coherent enough to align vibrationally with those beings that are innovative in technology, or at least their wealth dial is uh, vibrationally attuned to be in that vibrational space to place him in alignment with those particular types of innovative uh, technological codes or blueprints. Okay. It's all about energy at the end of the day, because everything is energy. You are source energy experiencing at different dimensional aspects of being vibrationally, right? So when you so like, say if you working, if you got a job, if you have a job, the difference in belief is that if you're working in belief, then you're on somebody's job. You're on somebody's job, and you believe that this job is everything. My job is a good job, and my job pays all my bills, and my job, these benefits, and which is fine. And you believe the story, and you believe the structure of the story, and you believe in the controlled aspect of the story, which is fine, right? When you get into a dynamic where, if you're working in a job and you are in the remembrance state, and then there's somebody that's still in the belief state, like in my situation, yeah, I wasn't energetically coherent, because I was now moving into a vibrational state of sovereignty. Okay. Um, I was moving in a vibrational state of I'm doing a live. I was moving in a vibrational state of I was moving in a vibrational state of sovereignty. And so when at a work capacity where you're now in a vibrational state where there are beings that are looking at the workforce as their bread and butter, and there is nothing wrong with the construct, and the construct energetically is suitable for it to be what it is because of how they understand the reality. Okay, that's it's in it it's suitable for them, but it's incoherent for you. When you get to people in the in the belief state and dissonance, they can become very toxic because they could be in the dissonance state. They could be in victim consciousness. They can be in the fear-based mentality. They can be in survival state, in the belief state. Okay, if you're in the remembrance state and they're in the belief, now if both of you guys are in the belief state, if both of you guys are in the belief state and you're both at the same level of consciousness and you're both in the belief state and you're both in the same reality, in the same, then it just kind of somewhat equates the same experiences. But the energetic hygiene is only it only has validity is when one has vibrated out of a vibrational state, right? And is uh, trying to attune to the new octave of light, to that which they have chosen to be. Okay. And so, therefore, the hygiene becomes important because if they are in the remembrance state, dealing with people that are in the belief state, and their belief state is in a dissonant state or a survival state, okay, that yeah, that begins where now you're yeah, 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 you it's becoming counterproductive. It's a counterproductive aspect of that, to which now you no longer have chosen that. When you guys were all in the same vibrational state, okay, birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be happy in the pond. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when victim conscious people is in victim conscious people, when you got somebody saying, yeah, they doing that to us, police, brutality, everybody getting along. But as soon as you say, no, I don't think, they're gonna look at you like, whoa, whoa, wait, what are you saying? You know, then that's when it has become oppositional or now vibrationally unsound, because now you have a different perspective of that same narrative. And it's not to say that they're wrong, and it's not to say that you're wrong. It's that your vibration, your perspective has now uh is now being illuminated by a different vibrational octave of light, which is now vibrationally energetically incoherent to that which is now energetically facilitating. The energy that is facilitating their story is no longer the same vibrational energy that is facilitating your story. Like, for instance, your story now is being powered by 100 watts, and their story is still being powered by 40 watts. So they're not going to see the same level of clarity because their visibility is that of 40 watts, where your visibility now, you're able to see it with a little bit more clarity because you got more light to see it with. You're seeing the same situation, but you got a little bit more light so you can see more detail to the situation because your octave of light Your vibrational state is different. So now there is no more. So you're going to give yourself a disservice by being around a person. So if this person still wants to be around you and they're determined to try to change you back into that state, you're gonna have to make a choice. It's either you're gonna go back and get back dirty to appease, or you gotta choose self. Like source chose self. So this is where source needs to see itself through you. Who are you gonna choose? You're gonna choose the octave that you have no longer chosen, or are you going to choose self? Now, this is where source is going to begin to see itself through you. Yeah, this is why I use EYE, right? This is now where source is going to begin to now see in your ascent. This is where now source is going to start seeing itself through you when you begin to choose self. When source decided to choose self in its 13th dimensional state, it chose self to express. It chose self to see itself in form. It chose self to see itself express. It chose self to see itself move. It chose self to see itself dimensionally. It chose self to see itself. It chose self. So now in itself, it's going to choose itself again. So when you now decide to choose self, you are now source, now choosing self again. Okay? So when you get to that 144,000, you have now chosen self, mind, body, and soul in form. I know they're going to give you guys a whole nother analogy, but that's how I understand it. Okay? So energetic hygiene, when you get into your knowing state, is drawing a line. And they have to attune themselves to come into your field. And you'll see it. You'll see it. They'll pipe it down because they already know if they want your attention, if they want your attention, it's almost as if they will bow to you because they recognize the source code within you. They know that source knows itself. And so you have attuned yourself at a higher calibration, and they know that if they want to be in your presence, they have to, in reverence, they have to honor that to which you have chosen to be. And that is what the chosen aspect is source choosing to be, choosing self. When you have chosen self, when the source choosing self, source code, the zero that is within you, source, you, source, choosing self, source. Source chose self to have the experience of self. Choice is going to choose self in the return unto self. It's choosing self. Source chooses self. You are source choosing self. Energetic hygiene is when you have home, work, family, people, places, health, physical hygiene, social media. If you are a hoarder, if your room, your house, if you got clutter everywhere, and you see stuff all over the place, that's code that you are not moving in fluidity. You're not moving in flow. Why you're stagnant? Why you're not moving these clothes? You're not wearing them. They're sitting there collecting dust. Resourceful. Be resourceful. Move them. Give them to somebody. If that stuff been sitting in your closet for 6 or 7 months, 8 months, and you have not put that stuff on, be resourceful. Don't make it stagnant and keep it. Right? Fluidity, your eighth, 7, and 6 self. Energy hygiene. I said my husband got shoes 20 years. I said, as soon as you put them shoes on, the sole's gonna fall off. That's what I told him. I said the soles of them shoes gonna fall off. They gonna separate. Because ain't no amount of glue. I told him, I said, as soon as you put them on. Right? That's what I told him. Right? So let's talk about wealth. I think I told you guys about wealth. Money created in your higher self is unseen, not tangible. It's flow. It's fluid. It's energy. It's not in form. Your abundant self is not in form. It flows through you. So whatever it is that you see that manifests itself in form is how you see yourself and how you write your story by how you understand yourself through belief, remembrance, and knowing energetically. Because everything flows through you as you spiral. As you spiral, the spiral has vibrational. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna show you the spiral. If I can draw it from my mind, I'm gonna try to draw it from my mind's how I see it. I see it in my mind's eye, but I don't know if I'm artistic. See, no, that's not how I go. I see it in my mind's eye, but I've never been. I see it how I go in my mind's eye. So, okay. All right. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. So, this is moving. I don't know if you guys can see it. Are you able to see it? Okay. So, this is moving, right? But as it moves, this it dissolves. like say when you get, let's say you get to your fifth dimensional self, and this is the third dimensional self. And you're holding coherence. You're holding by energetic coherence. Right? You know, at these points. Okay? You're holding energetic coherence. Right? But as you move, this is like magic. Like this is just energy. If you were not in density, holding on to like stories, energetically, you wouldn't have nothing to hold on to. This would just disappear. And if you maintain coherence at this spiral, and let's say that density a shadow tried to hold on, being that your coherence is still here, it'll just fade because it doesn't have anything to hold on to. So a shadow may appear because your shadow self doesn't disappear. It always is there. But if it doesn't have any energy, if it doesn't have any vibrational energy to hold on to ground or to anchor, all of this just looks like magical. It just looks like magic. It just looks like crystals. Just like, just like a little tail. You know how I look at stardust? It just look like stardust. Because it doesn't have any coherence. So let's say this is your shadow right here. But your energetic coherence is way up here. So your shadow self don't have any density right here to hold on to because your form spiral of self is right here. Right? Your energetic coherence is right here on up. So your shadow self, your tail, don't have nothing to hold on to. Nothing. It don't have no density to hold on to. So it's just stardust. Right? But if you fall in frequency, and you go back to the third D, now it can organize. The stardust can organize and create realities. Do y'all understand what I just illustrated here? Understand what I just illustrated here? Because it's energy. As long as your energetic coherence is up here in the fifth dimensional self and you're spiraling, this dimensional you right here is just stardust. It don't have nothing to anchor to, hold on to you, because your energetic coherence is up here. Your energetic hygiene is up here. Your coherence is up here. It doesn't have anything to anchor. So when you get to the knowing, right? All of this shadow self, it's just stardust. What used to be, your spiral has dissolved. So what used to be here, right, and your third dimensional self, right, your 3D self that had this the ability to hold density, now has, which is the third density, right? 3D distorted, 3D discover, right? All that's dissolved, right? Because your coherence now, you're able to hold stabilization, you're stabilized, energetically stabilized, and energetic coherent in this stabilization mark, right? In your being state, because of your energetic hygiene. So now your 3D discovery and 3D distorted has turned into stardust. So all of this is now stardust because it doesn't have anything to anchor to anymore. Because your stabilization now is here. So your shadow and all of that destabilization, all of that stuff that destabilizes and everything, all of this is stardust. It's there, it's a tail. It's a stardust tail. It ain't going nowhere, but it can't anchor onto nothing. As soon as something comes up, because your coherence is going to quickly come back to this, because this is your stabilizer now. You're energetically stabilized. So it's, even if something comes about that gets you out of pocket, your energetic, it don't have nothing to anchor onto, because this now is just stardust. It ain't got nothing to take shape and form on, because this has dissolved. It has dissolved into stardust. There's nothing there, because your stabilizing energetic coherence is now Okay, there it goes. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. I didn't touch a thing. I didn't touch a thing. I didn't touch a thing. Okay. Okay. All right. So the belief, remembrance, and knowing is what's going to um, do it. But the belief is probably more going to be, it's going to be the belief in dissonance. Let me see. You got, I'm going to put discovery. And then you're going to put, hold on for just a second. I'm doing my live. I'm doing my live. You're fine. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Discovery, um, discovery, dissonance, and distortion. All right, and so remembrance, you're going to have, uh, you're still going to be at some discovery with some remembrance. With some, let me see, you're going to have some remembrance, some dissonance. Some dissonance. Some sacred, okay, that's what I used to call it, sacred lag with nervous system. Yeah, so that's the key thing with remembrance, because what happened is that you're going to have some sacred lag with the nervous system, because your nervous system is going to be trying to recalibrate what the signal is you're getting with the codes that you're actually getting, that's recalibrating your uh, your divine state, but your physical form is going through. Your physical form is still in the dissonance. Okay, so you're getting the sacred lag through the nervous system. So the remembrance is there, but the dissonance is also still there in the remembrance. So even with remembrance, you're still going to have some discovery, you're going to have some dissonance, you're going to have sacred lag, right? Even in the remembrance state. So that's why I said the remembrance state is still, you're it's like you're going through everything in the remembrance state. That's why I say, like, your fourth dimensional self, yes, I'm back. Um, they are messing with us. I don't know. I don't even know how StreamYard actually cut off the camera, but it is what it is. The remembrance state is like you're going through everything. It's called like a transitional state. So your remembrance state is like a transitional state. Okay. Remembrance, this is a good thing. Um, yeah, knowing now is boundaries. Nice. Okay. All right. So this is a somewhat of a template where you guys can understand how this actually commences itself. I don't know if you guys can see it. I want you guys to be able to see it a little bit. Um, But in belief, you are in discovery, you are in dissonance and distortion. Remembrance, you're in discovery, you're in remembrance, you're also in dissonance, you're in sacred lab with the nervous system because of the remembrance, and you are with you're also in integration too as well. So remembrance is basically your transitional state. You're going through a lot when you're going through remembrance. Okay, so remembrance is not no easy feat to task when you're because you're getting all of the light code signals. Um, you're getting all of the light. Okay, very good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, it's a good. Remembrance when you're going through remembrance, it's like you're shedding skin. You're shedding old skin, getting new skin, and it's like you got to go up against a rock or something like that and shed the old skin to get the new skin. So it's you're going through a lot through remembrance. So when you're sharing fields, when you're sharing energy fields, okay, you're dealing with belief while still getting signals because remember, you're getting signals right here from knowing, right? While shedding, shedding belief, right? So you're shedding beliefs. You're shedding beliefs. So you're shedding beliefs and you're getting knowing signals, right? So you're shedding beliefs and then you're getting so you got a lot going on when you're going through remembrance. Okay? When you're going through remembrance, you got a lot that's going on. And I hope this visual, helps people understand that remembrance is no easy task to feat because you have a lot that's going on in your avatar, right? In your sacred vessel when your remembrance codes are coming through. Okay? Okay? That in the same essence you're trying to understand the hygiene of the home because the hygiene of the home is what's happening like what I'm going through right now. You understand what I'm saying? You got beings that are still operating from belief, okay, where there is what chaos, confusion, okay, which is dissonance, dissonant frequencies. I'm in the knowing phase now, so I don't absorb it anymore. And so now in remembrance, you have to now um you go through absorption of fields. Okay, so when you're in remembrance, because your nervous system is dealing with the codes that are coming in from your knowing, the remembrance codes that are coming in, integrating from the knowing, and the dissonance code that you're dealing with because of it's not now no longer energetically coherent, the absorption of the fields. Okay. So now you got to choose. And once again, what is the operative word here? Okay. The operative word is who you going to choose? Choose self. Okay. So the key to this in energetic hygiene, okay? The key to this is, okay? These are the keys. And what is the key? And what does that means? Now, let's talk about choosing self. I've been on here for a while, and I think I'm going to end the live because I've been on here for a while, but let's talk about choosing self. One may say, because we talked about the chosen one, right? And this is what the chosen one really is. And this is how it matriculates down into all of what we talked about today. And this is how I'm incorporating it for clarity and understanding of what choosing self, chosen one, choosing self, what that really means in the purity, right, of source. Okay. One may say, oh, that's selfish. No, it's not selfish. Okay. When you choose self, okay, you're not saying that I won't help you. I won't do nothing for you. I'm not going to be there for you. What you are saying is that I am not going to drop my frequency at this level of vibrational consciousness to where you are in order to assist you or to help you. I will still help you. I can still be there for you, but I am not choosing this version of self in order to be there for you. Okay? So if I'm going to be there for you, it will not be at the sacrifice of me dropping to this vibrational state. It will not be at the sacrifice of me feeling obligated. You're not going to make me drop to a vibrational state out of obligation. You're not going to make me help you out of in a vibrational state of lack. You're not going to make me help you in a vibrational state of obligation. I'm not lowering my vibrational state in sacrifice of self in order to help you. That I'm not doing. Okay? I will choose self to self-preserve the integrity to that to which I am in terms of choosing the reality that I choose to experience from. Energetic hygiene, vibrational integrity. Okay? Vibrational integrity of self. I don't know if I can put it well. Okay, so it's vibrational. Okay, choose self. Okay, because this is about energy.
I need to go. My mom is trying to. Okay, go. I'm not put on no clothes.
Okay, go. The camera's on. Okay. So this is the way that when you understand the knowing has boundaries. It has the integration. You're fully integrated. It has the vibrational integrity of self, and it has the choice of self. You're going to always choose self from an energetic perspective. You're not going to allow anyone to bring you down energetically. You will allow yourself to help them, but you're not going to make no one bring you at their state of being through coercion or through force or through hustle or anything of that nature. You have boundaries now. Okay. That's if you choose to share fields. Okay. Most people, that's why they don't allow their fields to integrate, or they vibrate out, or they allow themselves to move from afar. They have charities and different things of that nature because they don't want that type of quantum entanglement. They don't want to entangle themselves into that. They move from a different, angle of light, right? Just so that they don't have any type of entanglement or whatever. But if it's family, most times it's family. Okay. All right. Most time it's family. I think I've been on here for 3 hours and 34 minutes. Most time it's family. So belief, remembrance, and knowing, energetic hygiene. It's either that it's going to be resonance or dissonance in these particular areas. I talk about home, I talk about work, I talk about family, people, places, health, physical hygiene, wealth, thought, food, spirituality, social media. It's really quite simple. It is really basically those, two facets. It either is aligned or it's misaligned. Okay, it really is that simple. It really is that simple a formula. But of course, I'm going to be on repeat mode, and I'm going to get more into it so that we can have a better sense of clarity of how to understand this dynamic more in a quantum simplified sense of understanding. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Right. So y'all guys can, get a picture of this or what have you. And I'm going to put up the video. It takes me a while through StreamYard, but I'm going to put up the video because I have to, do all the notes and everything and stuff. But I hope that this live brought you guys some sense of clarity and the pure source tone. So therefore that when you guys hear stories and different things of that nature, it's not to bash the stories. It's not to bash the stories and different things of that nature because it's not to bash anyone's stories. Okay. I don't want nobody to bash, anyone's stories because there is resonance in, the stories and different things of that nature for those who are in that vibrational tone. But rest assured, when they raise their frequency, raise their vibration, if that's not their resonant tone anymore, that story is not going to stick because they're not. That story is not. Source will not be able to see itself in that story. Okay, the pure tone story, the pure tone story. Source will be able to see itself in every story. Let me make that clear. I want to make that clear. the codes that you see, okay, is source codes, okay? But pure tone is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, okay? Source, okay? All right? So when source want to see itself in purity, you see them zeros. You'll see them zeros, okay? So when it's ready to see itself in pure tone, you'll know. Simple. It's really just that simple. Everything else is source experiencing. Everything else is source experiencing. Source is in everything. Source is in everything. Source is in every story. Source is in every vibrational state of a story, whether it's hierarchy, egregious, source is in everything. But when source want to see the purity of itself, okay? That's when you start seeing this, 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 this. When you start seeing this, and it reduces to this, and you start seeing this, and it reduces to this, source. When you see different variations of numbers, let's see, 16. Like if you see this, 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 and I think that still comes out to be this, even though you may see variations of many different numbers, but if it reverts to this, this, and this, if any of those numbers, if no matter how they come across, if it comes to this is source. Source needs to see itself. All right. All right, guys. I think I held my family hostage for too long. They are not happy with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this board, and we're gonna call it a day. I'm so glad that I was able to hold you guys' attention for as long as I was able to hold you guys' attention. I'm so divinely grateful. Thank you for being in this space with me for this long period of time, 3 hours and 41 minutes. I'm grateful. I will be uploading the video. It has been my pleasure to be in this space. I hope that I have brought the clarity. I love you too, Leather Flower Design. I'm so grateful, beautiful. I'm so grateful. I've been standing for 4 hours. You needed it. I'm grateful, beautiful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I've been standing for 4 hours. I never knew I could just, I didn't know I had it in me. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you, Golden Sugar. Thank you, beautiful. I'm grateful. And I'm gonna upload this, and I'm gonna come up with some other things. And thank you, Kazi Kaz. And like I said, it was T Love that brought up the T Love was the one that brought up the Oh, I'm grateful. Millions of blessings back unto you, Leather Flower Design. I'm so grateful. T Love was the one that brought it up at the question. And she was the one that brought it up, and I decided to just go ahead and improv on it and different things, and just give my version. So that's what I'm talking about, you guys. DM me. Now she did DM me on Tuesday, and I didn't see it until this rising because I got these kids and there's a lot going on. But if you DM me or put it in the comments or something like that, I'll put it up as a live. I'm a woman of my word, and I'll do a live on it and give my version of how I understand that particular anomaly within my now moment and my frequency of understanding. I'll do it. And I'm not saying that it's going to sound like what you've normally heard in previous, depictions of, how you've heard it, but I'll give my version of how I understand it with no hesitation. I have no problem in doing it. Okay. And it's not to demote anybody else's version of how they are understanding that aspect of that same anomaly. Okay. Because I respect all versions of source in terms of how source is choosing to express that aspect of anomaly. But nevertheless, I was able to present my version of it, and I'm divinely grateful for how it just so naturally came into form, into being. And I hope that it brought some clarity to your essence, so that way, when you do hear other version of it, you'll know if this tone more resonate with you than the tone that these other versions come into. When you hear the other versions, you'll know. You'll just know. There is a knowing. That's energetic hygiene. Difference between knowing, belief, and different things of that nature. I'm grateful. Very thorough. Millions of blessings. I'm grateful. Thank you, Leather Flowers Design. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. All right. Um, and I'm grateful. So with that being said, you guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for the patience throughout my house. But I actually love being here. I'm just glad you guys got the patience to deal with my crazy family, because honey, sugar pie, honey bunch. You know that I love you. I'm so appreciative of y'all dealing with my crazy family. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm grateful. All right. I love you guys. And until next time, and I'll see y'all on the next go round. All right. Love you guys. Later. And we go in here, in stream, and we go in here. Yes.